The Wicked movie is defying gravity in just 10 days, passing classic Grease as the highest grossing Broadway adaptation ever, earning $359 million at the global box office. Of course, even if you didn't see the movie, you no doubt saw Glinda and Elphaba everywhere you turned, from Target to Starbucks, the grocery store, and even the world's most recognizable landmarks. Yes, the Empire State Building and the Arc de Triomphe lit up with pink and green. Did the marketing blitz cast a spell over us all? Yes, it did. Fran Hoepfner is a contributor at Vulture and joins us now. Fran, I have no idea what that Elphaba cold brew is supposed to taste like, but it apparently worked. Did any of these items just stand out to you as sublime, ridiculous, or even brilliant?
I think there's been a huge range of success with the brand partnerships for Wicked. I think a lot of the Target-based collaborations that they did, and especially toys for kids, have been really successful. And I've seen a lot of people who are parents getting Wicked-related stuff for their children. But on the flip side of that, there are also some marketing strategies that have left me kind of baffled, like the partnership with Lexus, especially because, well, I don't think we have cars in the land of Oz, and I'm not sure the target demo of Lexus purchasers is necessarily the target demo of the Wicked audience.
No, I will say the Stanleys was pretty spot on. I have a 12-year-old who wants some Elphaba and Glinda Stanleys for Christmas. So Universal Chief Marketing Officer Michael Moses told theaters that his mission with Wicked was being just short of obnoxious. Were they just short, or did they step way over that line?
I think they far transcended being obnoxious, but coming out of the opening week of the movie and seeing the success and the enthusiasm and people going back for repeat viewings, a lot of those brand partnerships feel a lot less silly now that the film is actually out.
Right, so did it work after all? As I said, the numbers, 359 million, easily eclipsing all-time greatest Broadway adaptation. So did it work, and will this be the model for future films?
I think it definitely worked to some degree, and not unlike last year's Barbie, it helps that these films that take on these really daring marketing strategies are really pretty good too. It'd be one thing if there were 400 brand partnerships and the movie just didn't work, but I think the success and the love that people have for that show and that film now feels adequately met by the marketing of the team that worked on it.
Yeah, marketing, or what you call culture jacking, what is that?
Culture jacking is a marketing strategy that involves taking over every kind of facet of consumer life. We saw it last year with the Barbie movie, but what helped that film is that it was sort of based on a product to begin with, so it could both double down on that and spread the pink everywhere. Here with Wicked, you have a little bit trickier of a job given it's not necessarily rooted in previously purchasable material, be it green colored coffee drinks or toys or luxury cars. But hey, maybe someone who might not have thought to see the film, who went to go buy a new Lexus, is now thinking about going to see it.
Yeah, is this a new phenomenon, culture jacking? You mentioned Barbie, which clearly worked as well. How long has this been going on, and are there examples of culture jacking where a film flopped?
I think you see it to some extent with a lot of kids' movies in particular, with the hopes that younger audiences will have a kind of obsession with the material and then want to sort of mine that obsession with goods and toys that they can play with. I think we see it with, Moana and Frozen. Some of those culture jackings feel a little bit retroactive. We weren't really exposed to a lot of Frozen stuff necessarily before Frozen came out, but since Frozen was released, it's certainly been omnipresent in the toy and consumer goods space. But I also think that this strategy is really been kicked up a notch in post-COVID theater going, with numbers still somewhat down, relatively speaking, doing these brand partnerships can be a great way to get people back in the seats in a big theater.
Yeah, I particularly love the new popcorn buckets that come with every new release. They are pretty awesome. Makes me want to consider going to see a movie. So there have been reports of a $150 million marketing budget. Is that confirmed? Would it be unprecedented?
I actually don't have that number confirmed, but that would be relatively unprecedented and a pretty aggressive strategy at that amount.
Target had 150 different Wicked themed products. Like you mentioned, it's a big risk for the studios. Is that also a big risk for Target, and any sense if that paid off?
I mean, all things considered, given the success of the initial run on Broadway, I don't see this as so much of a risk. Wicked has such a dedicated built-in audience and has for 20 years that some of this just feels like making good on a long-term investment in a lot of ways. I think with a type of IP that has already proven so successful, most of these brand partnerships had nowhere to go but up.
Really difficult, though, to end up turning a profit given that marketing budget and given the cost of producing this film. They clearly are not there yet, although it has been successful. So Wicked 2, I believe, is November 2025. Would you expect a similar rollout with that film? And can they carry that momentum between now and then?
I certainly think Wicked has the potential to cross over $1 billion worldwide, in which case they would completely be able to maintain the momentum. I'd be curious to see if they repeat a lot of the strategies they took advantage of this year, if perhaps we saw the first trailer for Wicked 2 during the Super Bowl again, just when maybe Wicked is starting to leave theaters to remind everyone that it won't be too long till they're seeing the rest of the film.
It's a good point. You got to wonder how they stay relevant. That would be a good spend there. So let's talk about. Did you see this movie? What'd you think?
Yeah, I saw the movie twice, opening weekend, actually. I think it's a
Whoa!
lot of fun. Yeah. And I was never that big of a fan of the Broadway show. I loved musicals growing up, but this was never a favorite. And I think the tone and the enthusiasm of the film itself felt really novel and exciting. I had a blast with it. I went in really skeptical and a little bit like, let's get this over with. And then within about 30 minutes, I was completely wrapped. I think it's really entertaining and really silly in the best possible way.
Wow. That okay. You've convinced me. You brought me way over. I was not even giving it a chance. So now I am going to go. Fran, it's been a great pleasure talking with you. My producers agree. They say it's something we all must see. Can't wait for the culture jacking between now and next November as well. Thanks so much. Good to have you.
Thank you.